The second question I would ask is, what should junior sailors do to become a CMC one day? In other words, what should you be doing now? I'll be honest with you. A lot of CMCs probably didn't know they was going to be CMCs until we got up into the chief ranks, and we realized that we wanted to do something a little bit different, right? So I would tell you this. The first thing you got to do is understand the big picture. Understand what the big picture is on the operational scale and on the administrative scale. How do you fit into this picture? What is the mission of your command? How do you fit into that mission? How does each warfare area fit into the mission? How does the department fit into the mission? Down to the division, down to the work center, down to the sailor. As the most junior sailor, how do you fit into this big operational and administrative picture in the open fleet? You got to understand that. Once you start to understand that, a lot of things make sense, and to be honest with you, it probably drives you in a more positive, motivating way to get things done and get after day to day. The other thing is, you got to know command programs, right? You don't got to know them verbatim, but you got to know how to reference yourself to them. You got to know what they're talking about. You got to understand what is current and what is out of date. And I say that because as a CMC, we have to know all the programs. It's not a program that we're not supposed to know, right? Anywhere between from DAPA to FAP to sexual harassment to fraternization, we're supposed to know all this stuff. And every day we're getting asked a question on one of these things that we call spinning plates, right? Which is one of these programs, and we got to make sure that we cover it, that we cover it in the best way forward. The last thing I'll probably say is to ask your CMC. You know, a lot of times we want to be asked questions because we want to ensure that we are developing our direct replacements as well, right? So don't be afraid to ask your CMC, hey, what made you become a CMC? And I would tell you, for each and every one of us, it's probably different, but it's probably the same. The first thing for me, I want to make sure I'm taking care of sailors. I've seen a lot of good, I've seen a lot of bad coming up in the ranks, and I want to make sure that I can focus on trying to make the things right that I saw wrong. The other thing is that I wanted to come out of my source rate. I was doing it for a long time, and sometimes the source rate can become boring, and you want to get out and try something different. But that getting out and trying something different is putting you in front of the entire command and as part of the triad. So it is a big deal. It is a change of momentum, of ideology, of professionalism, of a political status. You have to ensure that this is something that you want to do, because this is not to be taken lightly. All right? So I hope I gave you some good advice. I hope that you truly understand or comprehend the information I was putting out. And by all means, if not, you can always reach out to me personally. You can reach out to me through my IG page, which is CMC_Jackson, and I can answer your questions in further detail at that stage. But first and foremost, I thank each and every one of you for what you do every day. The grind is real, and you not everyone joins the military, and not everyone can do it. So I appreciate you for joining a volunteer service that you're actually being very successful in. All right. Other than that, CMC out.